Holy cow! It is not jokingly funny. Elon Musk finds it intolerable now. He's completely turned around, and President Trump is acting in the unearthly range. We will address all of this. All I ask from you is a lovely grin to transmit those positive, wonderful vibrations. Smash that like button, and let's start the first news broadcast. Fake news has proliferated these days. What is true, not what's not. Headlines are starting to show up. Thus, everything we say in the next 2-3 minutes has to be taken with grain of salt. Fine. Actually, we already know the first story is bogus news. About 4 or 5 hours ago, it surfaced that several accounts, big accounts on Twitter, with millions of followers, had this headline: President of United States will introduce Bitcoin and cryptocurrency wallet. What a period of time to live. Surely, and I saw millions, but Vivek here has an 86,000. Big accounts abound. Yes? And Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. responded as well. He says, I run Trump, and I know nothing about this initiative. First of all, he is stating phony news here. Sure, and we had Donald Trump Jr. stating the Trump organization has no interaction with this wallet product. Eric Trump and I are not familiar with it. Wait tuned. World Liberty Financial has been working non-stop. We will shortly be introducing our official wallet. So someone apparently noticed this and started tweeting about this Bitcoin magazine, which is there for. Someone might have become agitated about this and invented a phony one. You must so use great caution outside. And even if it comes from an official account, we have occasionally witnessed cases of accounts being hacked and subsequently wallet empties being taken. So use great caution. A headline, a large, something. Oh, here is our new product. I wouldn't print anything like that. 2 hours separated this. Hence, I would wait a little bit just to make sure everything is fine. Indeed. And 2 hours allow plenty of mischief. Just be cautious. From the same Bitcoin magazine, we now also obtained. Exactly. We must so take this once more with a large grain of salt, a mound of salt, stating Justin, President Trump's True Social, fired for a Bitcoin ETF. This is therefore intriguing. Already there are Bitcoin ETFs available, different from BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF or Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF would be what would through social Bitcoin ETF be? Like, why would someone invest on Choose Social's Bitcoin ETF? That's a query. Perhaps you would say, well, it's the president's, it's Trump's ETF, hence I'm going to invest there. That is what some would say. This is an interesting situation, though, and I'm not sure how many of you watched the prior film. I will link to it right at the end of this video. Trump's son discussed why initially they got into cryptocurrencies. It was a significant change for them, and why they went, he said, all in on crypto. The banks kind of turned their head on them and pushed them away once they started. Their families started getting into politics. I wouldn't be able to grant loans and other such privileges to them. And so they grasped. They had to investigate several sources of funds and different investment strategies. And so I believe many people are waking up with that option in mind. And thus, it will be quite fascinating to observe, what goes ahead. I'm not sure if the love tale I'm currently reading is going to end either. Elon Musk ended his few months scheduled to be head of Doge, so it did partially come to an end. He returned to his responsibilities, Tesla and others included. He is not the CEO of Twitter. Twitter has a CEO. Her name is X. Regards apologies. But Elon noticed something today, and he simply could not handle it anymore. If you watched the video early in the morning, we discussed his tweeting out of the debt of the United States of America. 37 billion. Almost 37 billion. And he adds here, in this tweet, "I'm sorry, but I simply can't tolerate it anymore. A horrible monstrosity, this enormous, ridiculous, pork-loaded congressional spending measure is, on those who voted for it, shame you realize you made a mistake. You understand, correctly?" Then he tweeted out, "Congress is bankrupting America. If we go and investigate, we find the US budget shortfall. It occurred in February. Only February, was it? It already will be $1,530 billion this year, 2024. Look at the last 5 years, essentially from the epidemic's outbreak. 3.31, 277, 138, 170, January. Massive debt keeps growing, and naturally, this has an impact on what is happening. Every single time we arrive at the debt ceiling date, it is a fuss. Correct? Oh, well, is government shutdown scheduled? Surely. I am telling you, I have heard this same story over. Given that I was 19 years old, this was what, 20 years ago? Their conversation revolved on the same topic that required debt ceiling raising, and the government will close should they fail to increase the debt ceiling. And this was occurring 20 years ago as well as now. They keep raising it and running across it. When should it finish? Now the president arrived at Elon. Why would he be so irate about this? He believes this expenditure bill is wasteful since it is so large. Surely. It's what he calls pork stuffed. And so he says, on the one hand, Trump came to me and said, "Hey, look for where we might, chop the beef, pork, or meats." And I worked hard. We attempted to sort out and found all kinds of stuff. Sure. Then we turn around, and they are spending enormous sums of money for leisure. I can now see his reason for anger. Not everything in that particular law is known by me. What's remarkable, though, is that, looking at where we are right now, for instance, this has nothing to do with that law, the expenditure bill. However, if we go and investigate, Senate controversy could create delay in the US stablecoin law. The Genius Act now calls for a movement to lower credit card rates. The proposition is attached to win votes. It has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. Critics counter, though, this might undermine both initiatives. So this typical case of political stupidity, and I'm sure that also in this bill, for the spending bill, there's probably a lot of foolishness as well, where both Republicans and Democrats are pushing in things they need to be re-elected. Many times, politicians, I believe it was the Daily, not the Daily Show, last week, I don't know if it was a congressman or a senator tonight, with John Oliver, where he visited a US politician. He asked him, "What's the most essential thing? Surely, once you get at office, what should be your top priority?" The man responded, "Most importantly, emphasizing the need of making sure you get re-elected the following time." Sure. Then he is like, push A came in. No, not at all. For he told him the truth. And that is many times what transpires. Once someone is elected, hundreds of people swarm him saying, "Hey, you will not be elected the following time if you neglect this. This will be your one term." And this is how it is in many other countries as well, not only stating that this is unique the US. Correctly? That does, however, lead to issues and circumstances whereby wasted spending results. And I can appreciate why Elon is enraged. And concerning it, what is he going to do? The query is that one. Given he was not born in the US, I do not believe he could run for president. Thus,